How has your tribe supported you like emotionally through
Mhm.
this process? Because I have a notorious group chat of women that I would completely fall apart without. Like
Mm.
it's just a safe space to just dump anything from the day, triumphs, losses, weird stuff, medical stuff. Like
Mhm.
it's just a place of women and sisterhood that has gotten me through the absolute craziest of times.
Yeah.
And I'm so pro women relationships
Mhm.
and friendships because of them. And
Mhm.
I've had, friendships that have basically span the entirety of my life. But I just think friendship and that kind of safe space is so important, particularly for women in, not really in the workspace. Like I'm sure, in motherhood and,
Mhm.
grief and all those spaces, but it's been really important for me.
Yeah. Thank God for sisterhood. And I've had a really interesting experience this last 5 years. I've had people that have just poof gone, and it's great because you're like, I know, right? It's clear you weren't supposed to be a part of this part of the journey. And then I've had people that surprisingly, and they've been new folks who they're these new relationships that you're like, wow, you were right what I needed at this moment. And so I'm so grateful for sisterhood, for relationships, whether they be new and old, whether they be the ones that the season has come to an end because you learned the lesson, you let go. And I have some real, I think, partners in entrepreneurship that I can call and sob, right? Shout out to Brandis Daniels from Harlem Fashion Row. We got on the phone the other day, and I mean, I just sobbed. I was like sobbing with sound, and she gave me the space. And by the end of it, we were encouraging each other and doing the thing. And I have a number of sisters like that, right? That we're able to just call and be really vulnerable and have those moments. Felicia is another one,
Mm.
where we'll check in and it's like, "Ooh, girl, this ain't easy," and especially I think for those of us again who were at the top of our game from a corporate standpoint,
Yeah.
and then we're thrusted into the reality of entrepreneurship, and there's a level of shedding your ego, there's a level of shedding like what you thought was going to be, there's a level of like having to develop a patience that you never knew existed, and that's usually happening for a number of you. So having each other to come to and just be really vulnerable and honest is really nice. I think more now than ever, I've never been someone who's been focused on relationship and partner and husband. That's not been my story. I've been married to this like I love to work, I love to grind, I love to go get it. But I ain't gonna lie, more now than ever, I'm like, damn, it would be nice to have a really great partner right here to help me on this 53-cent day.
Yeah.
And it's made me think about it more. But my sisters have been the one that have filled that gap for me, and I'm grateful to
Yeah.
them, and I'm grateful for them. Shout out to Ricky Hughes. She's another one who has just been there. And again, for everybody who's like, you do it so gracefully. It's like, yeah, because I have people that you don't even have to say, this is hard. This is feeling really uncomfortable. And they're just there for you in ways that you were once there for people when you had it.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I couldn't have gotten through this last 5 years without the sisters that have shown up for me, and again, the relationships that have also shifted because I think that's equally as important. Not everybody's coming on this thing with you, and you want them to, right? But the reality is they're not, and you gotta be okay with that.
Yeah, I think we don't really bring young people up to understand that everyone is not going to be there for your whole life. I think it's a combination of not wanting to deal with grief,
Hmm.
of contextualizing grief as one version as only death, and not the grief of a life that you thought you were going to have, the grief of relationships, the grief of friendship, the grief of failure. Like
Hmm.
grief is not a monolith of an experience.
Hmm.
It's not obviously the same as losing a person,
Right.
but you have to grieve things. You have
Yeah.
to grieve your failures. You have to grieve some friendships. Like
Yeah.
they don't. even if it's a fading, like that person might have meant something to you at a particular point in your life, but learning that, yeah, everybody is not forever. Like some people are for a season, and that doesn't mean that they're bad. Sometimes it does,
Yeah,
but it doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. It just means like this is the end of your journey together.
that's it. Yeah, it just ends. It's funny. Um, Another one of my like sisters is Angela Yee. She's like one of my besties. And we've had a lot of those conversations about the people that come and go and
Yeah.
how you have to just accept that and know that and be okay with it and keep it moving. And I do think there's a grief, right? Because if you're not a person that just like falls out with folks and like that's not your story, that's not my story. So when there is this like this thing has come to an end, it's hard. You feel it, right? But I think, especially when you're building great things, we're doing great things. We're on a journey, right? We're in our icon season. We are doing the thing. You got to know everybody ain't for the icon season.
No.
Everybody's not for the great thing.
Mm-mm.
And once you accept that, you keep it moving.
You do. It's a lot of being an entrepreneur is you learn a lot about yourself.
Oh my God. I, I, I have gotten so close to me in this journey. And I've always been someone, I was the girl that would take the solo trips. And I was Virgos are like that. We can just be reclusive at times and want to just be with ourselves. But what I have learned about myself has been fascinating and what I've had to develop in this season. The armor of Ingrid, the things that I've had to really, really figure out has been, it's been interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm building a business, but I'm building myself too.